In this video, I'm going to show you how to register and get started with TrackMyClass.com. Once you reach the site, select Plans and Pricing option. And this shows you all the list of plans which are available in TrackMyClass.com. So you click on Get Started. This takes you to an institution registration page. It's a very simple page. Accept terms and condition and click Create Account. Your account will be created and you will get an SMS notification as well as the email confirmation. Once you receive an email confirmation, click on Confirm My Account. So that will take you through a reset password page where it will ask you to enter your secret password. Once you do that, you will be landing in administrator interface. So administrator interface has various options to manage your school, but let's start with the setup. These setup contain all the basic things required to get started. Once you click on account setting, it shows you all the list of features which are required. So using this option, either you can enable or disable certain features. For example, like if you don't have a placement issue in case of school, then you can disable them. And if you don't run a hostel, then you can disable them. There are other options whether you want the student to comment on when you post certain stuff, or you want the parents to comment, then you can enable. And there are SMS option where you want to send SMS when the assignments are announced or whenever the marks are updated and when the attendance been taken. So once you do this will update the account features. By clicking on dashboard, which is on the top right, you can able to go back to the main screen. The second step, we have done the account setting. Second is to define the course. So when you click on course, it shows you option to create a new board or select an existing board. Board is a certification authority. If you are running a school, you might be affiliated with a CBSE or a state board. Or if you're a college, then you might be affiliated with the universities. Or if you're running a play school or a tuition center, you can create your own certification authority. Let's start with the new board. You click on new board. By default, the academic type is selected. So we'll come back to sports and activity in later time. Then there is an option to support point-based calculation. Some of the recent development in India, so they come up with a comprehensive continuous evaluation technique where the student is being graded in terms of points, grade points. So if you want to support, you enable it. Otherwise, you can disable them. Then you create a board. So once you create a board, it will take you to course creation. To define the course, you need to start with the category. So you can able to group your courses into category. For example, like you can start with preschool. Under the preschool, you can have a courses like a play group, or you can say a daycare center, if you want to call different name, or you can have nursery. So you can define your unique code as well for your course. If you don't support, in case of small, early learning, it may not be semester based. You can disable them. Also, you're not going to conduct exams for them. You can disable them. Then you can specify the level they need to grow. So start with first step. Once they do the play group, they go to the nursery. Second step, then you can create another category for primary. And under the primary, you can have a grade 1. It may not be a semester based, and the step is 3. Then the same way you can do a grade 2. Not the semester based, and the same way you can able to create a higher education where you can able to define pre-college or 11th. It will be a semester enabled exam based one. You can specify 12th, and again it can be a semester based and exam based. So this is how you can able to define your courses you are offering. In case of a college system, you can able to create a category as a department. You can create computer science, and under the computer science you can offer BSc or you can MSc or MCA. So same way you can able to group different courses you are offering, and you can also specify some of the details you want. So when you create a board, the next step will be to define the grades or point system you are going to use. So this point system can be created for each level. Let me take you through my new board, which we have recently created, and you can able to define a grading system. Higher education, you can add a grade. So D, it is from 0 to 34. That means it's the lowest. Then you can have the C grade, which is coming from 35 to 9. Then you have B grade, so which will be 60 to 79. Then you have the final A, so starting from 80 to 100. So you click on grade, so you can add multiple grades system you want. Let's go to the dashboard. So we have done the grades. Fourth one is we need to create a subject, because subjects are important to like a teacher to a particular section. So let's define the subject for course which we have created. So as you see, you can able to see all the list of courses we got. So let's start with the grade 1. You click on a particular course and we have a add new subject. Click on subject. You can specify language 1 and it's a new subject. So this is important if you are starting 11th, where we have a specialization where some of the subjects are common. So when you define a course, you can able to use the common subject. You can able to select from the existing one. But since we are starting the first one, let's start with a new one. So we can say language 1. And if you have any subject code, you can specify. If it's part of the organized boards, each subject will have a code, so you can specify that. You can add another subject. You can have max. So same way you can able to add multiple subject. And finally, when you update the account syllabus, so it's create the subject, so you can able to see the subjects. When you define the subject, you can also specify which grade your system you are going to use. So that's I forgot to select. So the grade system which we have selected. So when you enter the marks, this grade system will be applied. Now let's go back to dashboard. So now we have done the account setting. We defined the courses. We have also specified the grade points or grade system. Then we have defined the subject. Then the last important thing is the fees. So you can define how much you are going to charge the students. So let's start with the playgroup in this case, or we have done for the grade 1. Let's start with the grade 1. So you can define different type of fees. So let's start with admission fee. You can specify the amount. It's a one-time payment. Number of payment is first time you pay. Then it's an active. The second is you can have a kind of if you want to charge the student quarterly, you can specify quarterly. The amount will be 5,000. So you need to, in a year, if it's 4 times, you need to pay every 3 months. So that's the frequency or the payment gap in months. So what it does is, whenever the student join, and if the student decide to pay fee quarterly, then there'll be 4 transaction records will be created for the student. And if you want to provide an annual one-time fee, then you can specify that as well. So you can provide different option to the students. It's a one-time payment. So you created a fee for grade 1. You can go back to dashboard. So now fee is done. The next one is the skills. The skills are important one. TrackMyClass also help you to track students with a different level. These are some of the skills which are configured in our system, which will be automatically done. But you can able to add some additional skills you want. I'll show you how this works in later. I can go back to dashboard. When it comes to employee, then you can specify the different category of employees there. So for example, like you can add teaching staff is already there. You can have a within the non-teaching staff, you can specify different level. Now we have created a new category called non-teaching staff. So now we have defined what are the features we need using account setting. We defined the course. We have done the grade points. We have created a subject. We defined the fee for each course. Then the skills which is required and which we are going to track. Then the position and category. Now we are almost ready to start moving. The next thing is to start building your organization. The organization, for each different group, it can be different. Let me show you some simple examples. This is a very simple school system. You can start with your school. Then you can have a primary section, or you have a separate higher secondary. Then you can have a higher secondary. Then you can define the hostel. Then you can have a transport, and you can have a library. And I'll show you another example which have a much bigger structure. So you have my college. Within that, I have engineering college as well as the management school. Within engineering, I can define different departments: computer science, mechanical, civil engineering. Same way, I can have a hostel. Then I can run 2 different hostels, one for boys and one for girls hostel. Then we have a library and common library and transport for the engineering college. Then for the management, we have a separate library, hostel, and transport. And if you are running a preschool or a franchisee-based business, here is a simple example. You can have a play school, then a different state. Within the state, you can define the different cities, and within the cities, then you can define a different location. So the possibilities are endless. So let's start with how it is done. Click on organization. And here we have a create option. Here there are various type of entities which can be created. What is important will be the academic group and management. So management group is the logical group. If you create an engineering college, each department has an academic entity. So this engineering is the management group. If you have a boys and girls hostel, and if you want to put them under a common management, so you can create a management group called hostel, which will be reporting, both the hostels will be reporting to that, so you can able to track common expenses, things like that. The second one is the academic group. So let's go within academic group. Suppose if you want to create a different location, for example, like you start with the management, you can specify, okay, within, I want to open a franchise in Mumbai or in a different location. And within Mumbai, then you can create another academic group. So you want to start a branch in a particular location, you can specify. So you can specify under Mumbai. So when you do that, it creates the, since an academic group, it will ask you to choose what type of course you are planning to offer. So in this particular location, for demonstration purpose, I'll show you on the grade 1. So we have done the primary. So under the primary, we are going to offer the grade 1, which has all the details. So you create a course, then it will ask you to enter the batch year and the number of, it will start with the batch and it will ask you how many sections. Suppose if you have 50 or 100 students, you can split that student into multiple sections. So you can specify 2 sections you are offering. What is the capacity of each section? So you can specify it's 25 or 30 or whatever the number which you are operating. The number of periods per day. So you can specify, suppose if you are having 5 different classes, you can specify, days per week. So it is 5 days a week. Syllabus here, if you want to copy the common examination setting, we can do that. And if you want to enable online application, that you can do. We'll skip that now. So here we have created a new batch. So once you do that, it will ask you to define the registration number format and the capacity plan, and also it give you a section name. So by default it adds A and B. If you want to change, you can able to do that. So create a section. So now the location 2 has been created here. That same way you can able to add multiple location and multiple management groups. So what we have done is we have done the complete basic setup, and we have created our organization structure of how our campus is being located. And if you want to add a transport, you can able to do. For example, like under the Mumbai, if you want to add a transport, go to the setup, click on organization, create a transport hub. Mumbai location, so common transport. So using this organization option, you can able to define how you want to offer the courses. Once you have that, 2 major activities which are pending to move forward is about creating the employees and the teachers and doing the students. So let's look at the students. So if you want to add a student to location 2 or an employee to location 2, then you click on the location. On a particular location, you can able to add us to an employee. So let's start with an employee creation. So you click on the employee. So here is a new employee creation. So here either you can able to upload your new photo or you can able to capture using a webcam. Start with the basic. Now if it's a trainer, you check the trainer and give some additional information. Again, this is for calculating your timetable portion. And then you can able to give him appointment. You can able to appoint him as in Mumbai location, on location 2. Then he is a teaching staff, so he is a teaching staff. If it's a teaching staff, then which designation. And we also have a pay grade, which is an optional now, which we can define in our finance section. So you appointed person as a junior teacher with a grade 1. Pay grade is help you to calculate the monthly salary for your employees. Then you can define the user details. If the teacher has the email ID, you specify the email ID or the phone number. If the employee doesn't have both, or you can provide a custom password, which we can give it to him later. If it's a normal teacher or normal user, you need not to add any role. But if you want to give additional administrative privilege, then you can specify on which group you are giving the privilege, and you can select the role as administrator. Right now we are supporting only the administrator role, but we'll be adding new roles as we go. Additional details like you can add a gender, blood group, joining date, and the date of birth if you have. And the last one is the allotment. So you can able to allot a particular teacher on a location on a particular course. So for this section 1, he's going to take language 2. This person is going to take for the section 2, is going to take max. So is the head of that particular section. In section B, he is just a teacher who is taking the max. So now you have done this employee, then you can create your employee. Go back to dashboard. So now we have seen how to create an employee. I'll show you how to create a new student to TrackMyClass. To create a student, first you select a section you want to add a student to, and here click on the new admission. That will show you student creation form. You can specify student 1, last name. The student has an email and phone. You enter an email and the phone number. And if they don't have both, you can specify a secret password. Then later you can convey this password in person to that student. For same way for the parent, specify the designation the same way. You can enter this parent email ID or phone number. If both are not there, then you can give a secret password. If you enter the email and phone number, it will automatically send a confirmation link and the SMS activation code to the parent automatically. So the first thing you do admission, you select a student and say for which standard section he is going to be appointed to. Second, if you want to add a hostel, then you can do that the same way for the transport. You can specify the transport and the vehicle, and the other information. We'll cover that later. While creating a student, there are other information you can able to specify the gender details, blood group, religions, and it is Indian specific caste systems, date of birth, and the details. These are very basic configuration. You can add additional fields if you want. So what we have done is we have created a student, we have specified the parent and some of the additional details, and we have also put the admission details of which class this student is being placed. So you click on create student. The student account will be created. If they provide an email or phone number, it will automatically send the SMS to both the parents and student. So once the student is created, it will show you all the list of fee option is available for that course. So you can select which fee user going to pay. So you can select admission fee, and if you want to apply the annual fee, you can apply the annual fee. So both are applied, and you have receipts which are generated. So later you can go and update once the user paid. By default, the status will be not paid. So once the student paid, then you can able to specify as paid. And if you want to give any reference in terms of check number, things like that, you can able to specify. So now the student has paid the admission fee, but is not paid the annual fee. I'll show you now how we can do a bulk import of student if you have already have a list of students in your class. So you select a section where you want to import the student. Then we have two options. One is the new admission, which we have seen. Second one is the import students. So click on import students. So you have, if you scroll down, there is a download sample document is there. So you can, if you click on download, it will download the template. So you can specify the student name. I'll save them in different location. Once you save that, then you can able to select the Excel file, and you can say, okay, which are the fees you want to apply. So for all the students, if they want to use a quarterly fee, then you can specify the quarterly fee. Then you can go for the import data. This process the student information, and you can see it shows in progress. So if you refresh after some time, it will update the status once it's been processed.